Good evening and welcome to Open-Minded Mystics. Tonight, May 8th, is episode 107, where we are going to be talking all about current events, our current events, what we've been doing, what we're going to do, and we're just so excited to have you here with us. Don't forget that this month, so excited, guess what? We are switching it up, and our live event will be on May 22nd at Salon Gossip, 1036 Broad Street. We're going to get into that and so much more tonight. I'm so excited because I'm Donovan. I'm the producer. I'm going to introduce you to Kim Mazzella, our life coach and light docent, and of course, Miss Tracy Locke, our host. Let's just go for it. Let's just get into it right now. Welcome to May 8th, Open-Minded Mystics. What's up, lady?
What's going on, Donna V? You're like Peter Brady over there. Is your voice changing as we're talking?
Is my voice changing?
Yeah, it's like going up. Yeah, I don't know. Were you partying to like crazy this weekend? Because
I was partying like crazy this weekend. Actually, today is my cousin Lauren's birthday. So happy birthday, cousin Lauren. I wanted to shout her out.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually had a pretty cool weekend. I went to St. Anne's Council 100th year anniversary. And my uncle got to make some cool speeches. My aunt was all dressed up. We all got dressed up as a family and spent this time at this amazing country club out in Queens. Okay, that just sounds
There's a country club in Queens? Is it called
Queens
I
was
Country
just
Club?
going to say that, but I'm sure.
Yeah, because I know, wait, I'm going to look it up because I know you guys think like country clubs in Queens don't exist.
No, I believe
it. They do, and
I
it was like, beautiful.
That's awesome.
I know when you go over, what is it, the Throgs Neck Bridge, there's like a golf course right there. So there's got to be.
Yes, Stewart Manor Country Club.
Very nice.
They did a beautiful job. Beautiful.
That's awesome. Give it up for Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie. I love Uncle Charlie.
How did he do on the speeches?
He did great. I was like, wow. He gave a speech and it was just really awesome. I was just so proud of him, and he is so involved, and it's really nice to see. My grandmother Viola would be very proud of her son. Yeah, and my grandfather Peter. So they would be very proud of him and everything he's accomplished and all the things that he's doing to, be a part of his community, just like we like to be a part of our community. So
both of them are such kind souls, and they're involved in so many great things, and they're so sweet. Like they're definitely like an inspirational couple as far as, like you say, getting involved and being involved in the community and doing things for others.
Yeah.
They are awesome.
Yeah. And it's nice to see that they're so in love, and it's like they're so just happy, and I don't know. They do so many things as a couple, which I think is very interesting. So.
Yeah.
How long have they been together?
Oh, God. They just celebrated their anniversary March 17th. I got married on St. Patrick's Day, and I want to say my cousin is 41 today. Mm-hmm. And I want to say they've been married for like 45 years.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's an accomplishment. Awesome. That's amazing.
It's good to know. I got to meet these people because I always tell people in my program to go out and look for happy couples and try to draft off their energy. So I'm going to have to meet them.
Oh, you have to meet them. They're so
they're adorable. They really are so in love, and they get each other totally. Like when you see a couple that really gets each other and supports each other, and they're both so proud of each other. It's really cute. Like, it's great. It's not cute. That's such a
no, but I think it's cute. I think it's cute because you don't see that all the time.
It's cute, but it's better than cute. Like, cute is like, oh, that's cute. Like, he gave her a kiss. That's cute. They're really, I should say, inspirational. They really are to me. Like, what?
Since you said that, I'm going to say this part. In my uncle's speech, he brought my aunt up to give her flowers, and when he was talking about her, he got choked up. I have it on video.
I'm getting choked up.
And it was the sweetest thing because he said, there's someone that I really want to talk about that I want to introduce. And oh my gosh, it's my cousin. Oh
hey, birthday girl.
You know what's so funny? We just gave her a shout out, and I wasn't going to say it, but since you said it, I'm going to say it. So my uncle is all choked up, and he's saying about my aunt. I can't believe you're here. This is great. Happy birthday, Lauren. He's like, and I want to bring someone special up. She does all of our tickets. She does lots of different things for our events. Like, I'm not doing this, not verbatim. I'd like to bring it up more. And his voice cracked and he choked. And he goes, my wife, my lover, And my cousin and I looked at each other and we went, huh. And she said, I'm so glad that you were here for me
TMI.
so that you could see me and my scarring. And I'm like, you know what, though? I mean, honestly, she's laughing right now. And happy birthday. I'm glad that this is like making your day. But it was like so sweet because it was so, they meant it. But then, you know what, my cousin, all kidding aside, she loves it for the most part because she went up and one of the songs that she requested was their wedding song. And they slow danced to it. And it was just,
what was their
really
wedding?
Sweet.
What was the wedding song?
And wait, look at my cousin wrote. It's but the wound gets deeper all the time.
I believe it.
Funny? At any moment, your mother might be tuning in, and then this is going to turn into a completely different episode.
Oh my God, that's
if
hilarious.
You're just tuning in because I see the numbers going like up and down and stuff. Welcome to Open Minded Mystics episode 107. Where right now we are just completely giggling like little children about the fact that my uncle introduced my aunt at a really beautiful event this weekend as my wife, my lover, like with the Queen's accent.
Yeah,
it was like the funniest thing. Their wedding song is Here, There, and Everywhere by the Beatles, which I love that song.
I don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here.
Oh, well, I know. That's called Here, There, and Everywhere? Okay, I know that song.
Love never dies. What? Yeah, okay. I love that song so much. But they're just so cute. It's ridiculous. I love it because having parents that are divorced, like I understand that there's different challenges and we all have them. But like, because my cousin, you know, like she says, the wound just gets deeper all the time. It's different. It's different. I mean, I don't know. You guys grew up differently, I'm sure too, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's adorable. I think it's so great. I think it's actually, you know, like I lost my mother when I was young, but I wasn't that young. I was 21. So I got to see my parents in action, and my parents were like them. Like
really?
Cute. Oh, very, they're like affectionate, holding hands, all 9 yards.
Oh, that's so nice.
Cute.
That's so nice. And you know, I always say, because it's easy to get lost, right? To think that there's no really happy couples out there. There's so many. Like there's so many, and we always hear the bad, but there's so many happy couples. Because I'm going to tell you why I know, because it's part of my program, right? So I'm always going out and looking for them. And there's tons of people out there enjoying each other's company, respectful, kind, loving each other, happy.
Yes.
That's so nice to hear that your parents were like that.
Yeah. And people that have been that way for a long time, when I'm at work, I always ask, who's been married a long time? And we've, in this last week, I've met people that have been married over 50 years, over 60 years. And we had one guy that has been married 73 years.
Wow. How old was he?
They're in their 90s.
Wow.
Can you imagine 73 years? Yeah.
They don't remember life without each other. I mean,
they probably don't remember each other.
Yeah.
That's why they get along.
I said don't remember life without each other.
Every day. Exactly. Just keep learning about each other. How fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So did you guys have a good weekend too? Or what'd you guys do?
Yes. I had shows all weekend, so it was really good. I had shows in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they were bananas and really fun and crazy, and it was a riot.
Yeah,
that's great. I definitely have to make another one of your shows.
Yeah, I just definitely have to get out too. We got to do a show together.
Yeah,
yes, we do.
Yeah, when's that big show happening? Do you want?
So we lost our venue, and we are looking. I've been looking.
Oh, no.
So no, it's okay. I'm still working on it. I have the feelers out, and I'm praying so hard. So manifesting that we still get it for June 24th, because it would be really good in between Father's Day weekend, before 4th of July. If we have to change it, we can. And I have to remember something, that things are changeable. And, you know, we did lose Charlie. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
But for those of you that have been following the story about the dogs, and the dogs I rescued on March 8th, the dog was ill and was surrendered to a vet tech because the owner just couldn't deal with the diarrhea of the dog had anymore and wanted the dog to be put down. And they went to a veterinarian's office in North Arlington. The vet was really, you know, believing that it was something that could be fixed with diet and medication. And I know from going and taking the dog for blood work that the dog did not have the severe issue it wound up having, which is why they chose to, you know, do what they did. it developed pancreatitis, and they think the pancreatitis could have been developed from the medication that it needed and the long neglected illness. Like, so when I got the dog had been dropped off, and the vet was told it was sick for 3 months. We don't know if that's true or not. The names weren't true, the dates weren't correct. So it was a seriously emotional week.
Yeah.
And, planning a fundraiser to help, because it cost them over $3,000 in an overnight stay for the dog.
Right.
They really did everything they could to save this dog's life. So now,
and the original owners maybe couldn't afford it. I mean, that's what I think. Usually, if you don't take your dog, they probably couldn't afford it.
But just for anyone that's watching right now, I think that's a great message. And if you can't afford it, you can surrender them to a foster that can take that part over instead of just dumping them. So there are medical fosters, and I want to say that because this is something new that I'm learning. And I feel like for me in my life, and as much as I love animals, I did not know that either. I knew that you could, do a lot of things, but like I was able to surrender them to a medical foster, and a person that really had the best intentions for the dogs, but couldn't financially afford it, could have done what I did.
I know someone who had a dog that couldn't afford it, and she tried to surrender it and couldn't get anybody, but maybe we didn't have the right information. So that's something
that's something really good to know, because I've never heard of that. And I know that it's it's really a crime that it's that expensive. It's exorbitant. Like when you are taking an animal in to see the vet, if you don't have a disposable income, it's really tough. That's like a lot of money. $3,000, like who's got that lying around?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know when I took, my dog in and we had to put her down, they were like, well, do you want us to run a bunch of tests? And you get caught on this, like, over a barrel. Like, what am I supposed to say? I've had this dog for 14 years. I'm going to say, don't do everything you can, but I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars. So I think it's really important to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a definite challenging situation, but thank you to everyone that sent well wishes, prayers, good thoughts, manifesting the health of the dog. And now Tommy is, he's going to be looking at the next chapter of his life, but I'll tell you, he was depressed and crying and it's just really sad. So I love the foundation, rescuehaven.com, .org. I love Rescue Haven, and I am going to do whatever I can for them, just like they did for the dogs. And I just want to say thank you to anyone that's watching that really did, get involved in that story. And I have a comment. This is something interesting. We're going to get right back into our life coaching right here. My cousin said, going back to, I have an amazing example, but it sometimes leaves the expectation lacking. That is a hard partner to find. So now we're circling back, and I think this is a really cool segue back into
get it.
Yeah, like when you have an example, it's the opposite. Like my parents were divorced. I did not have good examples, and I'm always fearful I'm going to find the same type of partner. I have the fear of cheating, the fear of, not sticking around. What happens in the case where you have people who make it look so good that you sit there and you say, I'm never going to find that?
Why do you think I'm not married? No, I'll tell you the truth. Kim's going to answer too, but like I had a dad that was exact opposite of what you're saying. Like, so my dad would bring my mother flowers all the time. He would buy her gifts. So he would come home. He would come home like once a month my mother was a teacher. He'd come home with like a full outfit for her. I mean, like a skirt, a blouse, a jacket, a pin. He was constantly doing. And like, whenever we would come home to my dad's, any boyfriend that I brought home would be like, your dad totally spoils you. Like he would go in, make the bed, put stuff in our room, and have flowers in there and everything. They were like, what's that? And I'm like, that's how you're supposed to be.
Right. But here's the thing. Yes, on one hand, maybe it's a tough act to follow, but shouldn't we all have tough acts to follow? Like really, if you think about the way life should be, we should all be a tough act to follow, and we should all have tough acts to follow. Now you can say, well, this is not the way the world works, but I don't know. I think we should all strive to be the best versions of. I will say this: that having been divorced, I am very different in my relationship that I'm in now. Having been in a relationship where I maybe didn't appreciate the person as much or didn't feel appreciated, I made sure that appreciation was and respect was something that was in my relationship, and I strive hard for it. I do the work to make sure, because it's easy to forget. It's easy to not say something nice. It's
Right.
easy just to be quiet. It's easy to not get someone flowers or not, speak a love language. It's easy to do it, but when you do, it's like the rampage of appreciation. It was a way of milking a good feeling.
Yeah.
As long as it feels real, because when my father gave my mother a lot of flowers, but usually he did something bad, and there was a reason for those flowers.
You're like, I know why they're
Sorry,
here.
Dad.
So my cousin said my dad printed out friggin' clip art posters to welcome my mom home after they quarantined in the same house separately. Like, I can only wish that I find someone I get stuck in a house with for any amount of time and are still excited to be around them.
Oh.
But I think that's a thing that you make happen, because I'm sure that they had moments where they were bored with each other and you just didn't see them, right? Like, I'm sure that they had moments where they were annoyed with each other and they may not have showed that to you. I mean, that's striving to be a good partner. That's what your dad sounds awesome.
No, he definitely
awesome.
is.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
exudes like such warmth. They both do. Super warm, loving, wonderful people. That's how they come across.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know who else is really super loving and warm?
Yes.
Our last guest that we had,
Katie Easterwood.
Katie Easterwood.
Oh my!
She was amazing.
Yes, she was amazing. And Don, if you could stick that up there one more time,
yeah, of course,
it's so beautiful. So if you watched us and Katie was on the show, she is a voice channel. Now this flyer is a flyer of hers where you can. She's going to be on the show. I'm so excited. She's coming back on the show. And Donna,
she's going to be back on May 15th, and guess what she's going to be doing? That was my.
Am I guessing?
No, I was getting Tracy to say
it.
Yes, she's going to be voice channeling. Now, if you know what that means, kudos to you. If you don't know what that means, because I didn't know what that meant until you guys introduced me to Abraham Hicks, it's when they are not themselves. They are literally channeling an entity through them and answering and speaking as that entity. And I had a phone call with her, just like the flyer that Donna put up. And I worked with the council and Wisdom Council, One Spirit, One Heart. You can ask any question and they will answer. And the really exciting part is when Katie is here on the 15th, she will be channeling the Wisdom Council. So she said, and I'm relaying this, you can ask any question you want and the Wisdom Council will answer. So she's actively seeking question and answers. So if you are here now, please make sure you do not miss May 15th, because you can ask any question that you want. Her only request is that you put your name and where you're coming from. So I don't know why that means anything, but she said that she needs that information to channel, and then she will answer that question. She said she can actually get the energies, through the internet. She can feel it and they'll answer. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
So she's channeling the collective consciousness of what she calls the Wisdom Council.
Correct.
Like in Abraham Hicks, the collective consciousness of Abraham is what is channeled by, Esther Hicks. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
It's very exciting. And I mean, I love listening to Abraham Hicks, and listening to Katie Easterwood is pretty cool. I mean, she was on our episode 107. So actually, I guess we're 108. I don't even know where I am right now. But what's really amazing is that we got to see, Tracy and I were there in person to see her. Kim just got to meet her last week. I think it was a week ago. No, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because last week we were talking about Kim, the third chakra.
Woohoo. Yeah, so we had an awesome event. Again, it was 2 weeks ago. When the heck was it? April 26th.
1 week ago.
And we talked all about the third chakra, which is courage and confidence and the color yellow. And it was all about sitting straight up and living your life on life's terms, in having your will be the thing that guides you. So really, It's interesting because I do a lot of studying on the chakras, and I read a lot of other people's books, and some people say different things about them, but the general themes are the same. This is your power center, your willpower. It's where you show up as an adult. To me, the best way to think about it is I think about your second chakra, which is your inner child, and your third chakra, which is what we talked about, which is your inner adult. And those two things work together to manage your happiness and your emotions. So your inner adult, your inner child, we're going to be talking about next time, which if you can make it on May 22nd, you'll get to the inner child work is fun. It's all about fun. So the inner adult is the one who tempers the inner child, make sure she gets her work done, her bills paid, make sure that she shows up and sets her alarm and leads a life in balance. So having courage, this is really where the third chakra is all about living your life your way. And the more that you are in your power and fully engaged in your own power, you live your life on your terms. And so the third chakra really forces you to show up and play big. And they say go big or go home. That's what the third chakra is all about. It's about go big, go live your life and really enjoy your life. Show up with courage. And so I love that it's the color yellow, the color of the sun. If you think about the sun when it comes out, when the sun comes out, it feels different. We had a couple days ago, like a week ago, where it was raining. It was raining in New Jersey. It was just raining. And my son was in Florida at the time, and he kept calling me like, Mom, it's 90 and sunny here. I'm like, whatever. I was walking the dog with a hat on and a big coat and gloves in the rain. And it felt dark.
It felt gloomy.
It felt so gloomy, and the sun comes out. Like it was on Saturday, or I don't know. The sun came out, and all of a sudden you feel energized. So when your third chakra, when your third power center is strong, you have energy. You have the energy you're willing to stand up straight and go for what you want. So that's what we were talking about. Really stepping into our power, stepping into our courage, feeling confident about yourself, feeling like you deserve what you want, feeling that joy of life. And I love that yellow sun that came out. And it was funny because we had guests that weekend, and those 2 days we were kind of like hunkered down, and the next day everybody's like, let's go out, let's be free. We went and looked at the New York City skyline. It makes a difference when the sun comes out. And same with your energy. When you are standing in your sun, you're moving and doing things that are fun. You're living your life in a way that pleases you. But you're not allowing yourself to be irresponsible. So we all want a nice balanced third chakra where we're paying our bills, but we're getting out and enjoying the world too. So it was a fun group. I have to say, if you're interested in coming to this group, we are moving it to a Monday for everybody who can't make Wednesday. So you can come, and we're going to be talking about the second chakra, which is your power, your playful center. It's your creativity center. It's where you're motivated. It's where your inner child wants to run the show. It's your emotional center. It's a warm place that makes life good. And so when your second chakra is healthy, life tastes good. You're excited about things. You're motivated. You want to get out and play. And keeping that center in balance is how we don't become drug addicts. So,
well, there you go. And on that note, for those of you that are listening and wondering what the heck the chakras are, where they are, what they look like, this is a nice little, a list of your chakras. So solar plexus is where the third chakra is located that Kim was talking about. Now we're going to the sacral chakra. So that is like more of the area of where you sit, where your
lower belly.
Yeah.
So it's your pubic bone to your
reproductive organs.
Yes, those are in there. And think about
the trouble area. If you're a regular woman,
God,
yes, right. And it's really, if you think about that area, I always think of it. It's always churning, right? Like and so this is your gut feeling. Really, the whole center is your gut, where you have intuition, but that child, when the child just knows, when your kids just know, I don't know if like a young child that just knows that person's bad.
Yes.
Right. And they'll be like, they just don't want, they don't know why they know, but they just know. That's your gut leading you. So the second chakra is that inner child knowing of what you want and what you like and what you don't like. The only problem is if it runs amok, it throws a temper tantrum. So it's about keeping that area in balance. Without a healthy second chakra, which we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be talking about how to increase it and make it better. Without a healthy second chakra, life is awful. It's not fun. So it is, we want that chakra. I'll never forget, I was working with a woman once, and had to be 10 years ago. I even can remember her name, because it was so apparent to me that this person was all about responsibility and getting things done. And on the outside, her life looked great. And her second chakra felt like an ashy, closed, dark energy field. It was just dark. And I was like, is life fun for you? And she said, fun. Like, it was a fun
like a charcoal briquette.
Yeah, right?
That's what it felt like, right? And
now,
she's like, why?
Wait, I think it's fascinating, Kim. Can you physically feel it or see it when you're dealing with
I don't know.
somebody?
I think to myself, what's this third person's third chakra look like? And then I just take a second and think about what it feels like for me, right? So it's always different. Sometimes I see it in my head. Sometimes I just feel it. Sometimes I can't get anything because people don't let me in. So, I'm not really like the person who will be able to tell you, like, but I just get feelings and I just kind of know, like, that everybody does. I think everybody does. They just don't meditate twice a day. You just don't, if you meditate twice a day and you just trust, you will know. If you think about what your second chakra feels like right now, if you close you'll get information on this stuff. It's not it's stuff you just know. You could tell if a person's fun or not. Kind of.
Oh, yeah. I have to say, Jerry Reesby's stopping by and saying hello.
Jerry! Speaking of
nice
fun.
to see you, Jerry. That's right, Jerry Reesby. We're so happy that you're here. Guys, if you want to comment, if you want to shout out, just put it right in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the second and third chakra and all the other things we're talking about. Katie Easterwood, she was on 2 weeks ago. She'll be back on the 15th, which is next Monday, and she will be channeling her collective consciousness, better known as the Wisdom Council. We are so excited to have her back on, and she will be doing, the first time she was on, she discussed who she was and her background, but this time she will be coming on and channeling for us and answering questions that you have. So we want to make sure that you're all here and ready to fill the comment section with those questions and comments. So,
yeah, and she said, one thing she said, no dumb questions. There are no dumb questions. There's no limit to what you can ask. It's got to be a personal question, obviously. Although she said that she may have some comments about just like what is happening in the world. I don't know if the Wisdom Council will give information on that, of like what they think, or if there'll be anything like that. But I know for sure that you can ask personal questions, be it relationships, love, work, career, whatever it is. I think it's exciting.
I think it's exciting.
I know it's exciting because I did that reading with her and it was just really, really
So cool. This is how you got in touch with her to do the reading?
Yeah. So I did that special introductory offer. So ladies and gentlemen, it's $25 for a full half an hour where she answers any question that you have. So you go to Wisdom Council, onespirit.oneheart.com, and it's so easy to do. You can make the appointment right online. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to talk to her. You make the appointment and then she sends you the Zoom link and then you show up and it starts. And it was so easy, so fun, full of information, full of insight, which is what we could all utilize, and what you do with that insight, you can take it and run with it or not believe it, whatever you want to do. But does give you a window into your life. And I think it's more like what you're saying, Kim, where it's not telling you what to do, because nobody can tell you what to do, but it definitely gives you ideas about why things may be happening a certain way. Also, it opens you up to looking at things a certain way. Like not being so narrow-minded, that's what this whole show is about, opening up your mind and allowing that there may be 2 or 3 reasons for different things that are happening in your life other than what you think it is. And when you start, like you say, when you start meditating, when you start really just taking time to be silent and think about things open up and things start to connect where you're like, I never thought that connected with that. But now that I think about it, it's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
Which I think is fascinating.
And I have to say, I like the idea of living a guided life. It was interesting. I was having a conversation with my daughter, and she has very different beliefs than I do. Right, very different. She actually said, I said, "Well, what do you think happens after you die?" And she said, "That's it." And I said, "Ooh, you want to believe that?
Right.
Like that's what you want to believe?" She's like, "I don't. I'm a scientist at heart. That's what makes the most sense to me." I'm like, "Really? That makes the most sense to you?" But God bless her. That's
Hmm.
what she wants to believe. And she said to me, "What do you believe?" I'm like, "Well, every morning I wake up and I talk to dad and I ask him to help me out."
Right.
And I believe he's out there. So
Right.
I totally don't believe.
Your dad.
But yeah, my dad, like right, my dad. And I feel like I have more conversations with him since he died than when he was alive.
Hmm.
Although we talked a lot then. But I think that when you spend enough time, if you spend any time at all, just like getting to know yourself, or just even if you don't believe in anything out there, there is there's a voice in your head. There is a voice in your head, and I think there's always two voices in your head. One that's utterly mean and trying to tear you down, and the other one is your truth, which is, hey, you're a human being, and you're in the process of being, and if you make a mistake, let's get up and try again, and you can always be better at this. And I always hear that other voice louder since I've been meditating a lot, because I used to think that I was guided by this mean voice, right? And I used to think that was my inner guide. And when I was very young, someone said to me, "No, that's fear inside of you. That fear lives in you, and so does love. And so you get to choose what voice you're going to listen to. And whether or not whether it's not, you don't think that there's anywhere else. I believe, you don't have to believe what I believe, but I do believe that we all have inner guidance, and we could get better at hearing our inner guidance. Don't get me wrong, my inner guidance doesn't wake me up and go, "You're gonna win the lottery today." No, it doesn't do
Or you
that.
wouldn't be here right now if it did.
I'd be like,
Yeah, no, but somebody that's great at manifesting, Donna, you're very quiet tonight. What you got to talk about? You're one of
Well,
those people that manifests a lot.
I was just listening and I was waiting my turn because I didn't want to hog the.
You got to
I have
jump
a
in.
couple things I want to say. One, I want to say to your daughter, and I would love to say something. I would love to have a
yeah,
conversation. I
please do,
love
because
challenging that conversation. But for you, one thing you might say to the scientists and everyone watching, the scientists in their lives that believes that it just is over. The biggest example of why I don't believe in that is because we recycle plastic. We recycle paper. We recycle everything. How are we too above the thought of recycling souls?
yeah,
How
I
are
love
we
that.
to actually believe that we do not come back? I believe that we do come back. I do believe that we come back and we learn further lessons. And there are other people I speak to that support that in lots of other ways of thinking. I'm sure Katie would agree with that and talk about that. I had an amazing experience recently with someone named Michael. I believe I say his name correctly, Alampi. He is a flute player on Broadway, but he is also an astrologer, and he specializes in doing human design readings. And I was given his information recently, and I decided to treat myself because I was like, I really want to know a little bit more about this human design. I'm not really that familiar with it, and we're hoping to get him on as a guest. It's just that right now his schedule is really intense, and it may have to be something where we pre-record, have him on, air it, like if the three of us can interview him and not have it live, because his evenings are really just tight right now because of being on Broadway. But the first thing he did when I gave him my information, which was my birth date, the time that I was born, where I was born, I've had my chart done before, but I thought it was interesting to have it done now at 51. The first time I had it done, I was a lot younger, and it was just really interesting. And the person that did it actually is a famous, Sinopoli is his last name. I'm trying to think of his first name, but he did a lot of readings for the mafia. A lot of people, he's out of Clifton, New Jersey.
Wow.
Stephen Sinopoli, he wrote a book, and he used to do charts. And I was going to a doctor's office for.
Wait, what was the name of the book? Look Out Behind That Door?
Yeah, exactly. Don't look over your shoulder if you're not wearing a vest. No, Stephen Sinopoli is his name, Sinapoli. I don't know the name of his book. But I'm not kidding. You should look into it if you're at all interested in it. And I can look into it myself and get some more information. But he was the first person I ever had do my chart and give me a reading, and it was fascinating. And he told me about my kids, and my kids were young, and he said, you know, this one keeps you running like you're on roller skates, and they're both very smart. Like from a young age, he said they're going to be very successful. They're going to, you know, he just had a lot of stuff to say. This reading was more for myself, and it was called the Human Design reading. And the first thing that I was sent via email from this gentleman, Michael Olampi, was my, I can look it up to see exactly what it was called. Oh gosh, what is it that I'm calling?
I know I looked it up, like your profile, I think it's like manifesting generator.
And I'm a manifesting generator. That's what I am.
I looked it up. I don't know what it means, but I looked it up.
So a manifesting generator, from what I understand, and again, you know, like I need to do more work on this myself and read more. And he gave me links to YouTube, and you can look up people on YouTube that talk about this. This has been around since the 90s because of computerization and the fact that they were able to take what someone else would do as far as a chart, knowing your birth date, your time, and what have you, with the, you know, the alignment of planets. But this is more of a body system, and like it's just fascinating. So when he sent to me that I was a manifesting generator, I almost fell over, because we all talk about the fact that I want to manifest. But a manifesting generator, the difference between that and just a regular manifester is I'm very general. And he said, you just have to stay that way and you'll be okay. And I'm like, I am that way. He's like, you have to be the type of person that realizes through meditation that you can manifest what it is that you want. But he said, using himself as the example, he said, I wanted to go to Juilliard. He's a flute player, like a professional flute player. He's an amazing, amazing flute player. And instead of saying, I want to go to Juilliard, and then he didn't get in, he learned as a manifesting generator to say, I want to receive the best education I can for what my craft is.
Okay.
And that's how you would say it. And then the universe will put it in your path, exactly where you need to be and what school you need to go to.
You can't get specific. You have
Correct.
to just stay general. Because I looked this thing up, first place, I never heard of it before you said it. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing. But I got this chart. I'm like, I have no idea what any of this stuff means.
It's fascinating.
It's so fascinating. But I'm like, oh, now I want to know what it all means. But there's books out there and things to learn. But I don't know who has the kind of time.
Well, I recorded my session with him, and I let Tracy hear. And Tracy was listening to it at the salon last week. And what were your thoughts?
I thought it was spot on. What I heard, I probably heard about a half an hour of it, and it was very specific to you. And I thought it was right on, and it was very interesting. I'm definitely fascinated by the topic. I've never heard of it either. I never heard of it. And the craziest part was the physical chart that you showed me looked like your soul painting. We talked about that.
Yes, it is. So the physical chart is actually, the physical chart is like everyone's chart is the same shape, but it didn't matter. It's just like this. It's another time in my life that this has come back into my life.
Yeah,
that's why I was fascinated.
Start from the beginning, because I think we might be getting lost. What's it called again? Just start from
it's called a human design reading, and his name is Michael Olampi, Alampi. And I can tell you right now, if you look him up and you go to, I really want to have him on, and I do.
Oh, I hope he can come
He's an astrologer and his specialties are astrology, astrogeography, and human design. So this is what he looks like. I'll give you this one, right? He's a sweetheart, a doll. And we just connected so much. But you want to know, Kim, what the most fascinating thing was?
Yes.
He said that I operate from a second chakra. He's like, you really are a second chakra, and your second chakra is very connected to your fifth. So it's like everything that we learn here with you, but you know me. We have meetings, we've talked. I took your course. This is like just simply scientifically because of my
That is
birthday,
so
when I
wild.
was born, where I was born, what time of day, where the planets aligned, and it was just amazing. And he said to me,
It's like they take the chakra information and astrology information and a whole bunch of different things and Kabbalah and all of that and
yes,
combine it into one. That's amazing.
yes.
Yeah, and as he was talking, did everything make you go, aha, aha, aha?
I was in shock. And
I'm interested to know this. Did anything he make you think about how you should make changes that you should make?
absolutely. One of
He
the
did.
main,
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
really?
one of
What?
the main things that he said to me that I need to do is
Is
to
make more
practice the
chocolate chip
pause.
cookies. Oh,
No,
practice.
which I knew. He didn't say it in those terms. What he said was, you're very connected from your second chakra to your fifth chakra. And the thing is, you have an amazing gut instinct, which Kim, you've always said that to me.
Right.
He said, but you can use that for yourself. He said, but you want what people come to you. He goes, you have the ability in your business to touch people, to talk to people, to help people, but you cannot always spit out what it is that you know. He's like, because you have to learn how to say what you know to other people in a slower manner. Because I know me. Like if I say to you, I've done it, and I'm not like
I think
embarrassed.
I understand what you're saying.
It's
Like
hard to articulate, but like if somebody says something to me about, I don't know, I'm going to use Tracy. Tracy, when we were walking in the park. So for anyone that doesn't know, Tracy is an amazing comedian. She is so super talented. She is my mentor and we are friends. Like I am just so lucky to know her. I feel the same way about Kim when it comes to chakra systems and breathing. And I love to keep people in my life that I can learn from. It's so important to me. And that is how I cultivate my relationships. If I don't think I can learn anything from you but a lesson that I need to learn about myself, we're not going to last as a friendship.
yeah.
Right.
I mean it. I just
No,
Great
I
way to
know.
say
We're all
That's
learning
a
that.
great way to say it.
So it's like, so Tracy and I were walking through the park and we were just discussing something that's going on in her life. And we had just started our podcast. And I know she's going to start to remember what this is. And I'm not going to like put all of her business out there, but
Okay, I'm trying to remember.
let's say, for instance, I'm going to use the example that Tracy really wants a dog. And Tracy could get a dog. Tracy could probably figure out a way to get a dog.
Okay, now I know.
But in her act, all she does is talk about how she's never going to have a dog. She can't have a dog. She'll never have a dog. She's dogless. She's always going to be dogless. And I said to her, how do you, and I love you, but how do you not recognize that in your act, which is like you're scripting every time you say it,
Yeah.
you don't recognize that you're keeping yourself dogless.
Right.
And I feel that I see some things that people might not see that are obvious to me, but my problem is like I have to be cautious in how I tell people and delivering my message, because sometimes I make mistakes and I'll say things to people like they'll tell me they're having a bad week and I'll say to them, well, you realize you just keep talking about it, you're making it happen for yourself. And then I get hung up on. And then the people are like, you can't say it like that. So one of the things I learned from this human design reading was I needed to hear it from a person that doesn't know me.
Right.
To say to me,
yeah,
you have a gift and you can use that gift, but you need to learn how to take a minute, take a deep breath, and like eat the word bubble that I want to like just vomit out and say, how can I best deliver this? Not meaning saying it in a way that's not true, because one of the things I'm very proud of, and like I've had people say this to me in my life, is you do say the truth. Just sometimes you don't deliver it the nicest. Like sometimes you say it and it could be abrasive, or sometimes you say it and it could be just not accepted in the way that you mean it. I mean, I'm open to saying I put my foot in my mouth all the time.
But you know, one of the things I love about that, being your friend, is I always know where I stand with you, right? Like, so yes, maybe you have to practice the pause, or we could all get better at stuff, you know, because with some people, like, you know, they say does it need to be said? Does it need to be said right now? And does it need to be said by me? Right? These are the things that you want to ask yourself, right? Does it need to be said by me? And maybe all things don't need to be said. And that's going to have to come from the second chakra, not the fifth, because the fifth, once it gets there, it's just going to come out, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. So your inner child needs a little bit of an adult to say, honey, like this is, but as your friend, you could always blurt it out, because I'm going to let you know you have that permission with me, because I always know where I stand with you. And that to me is a gift. It's a breath of fresh air. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. But I just felt like for anyone watching and wondering, that was one of the biggest takeaways, was because he did, and then he did some numerology, and he did say, you know, that I am on the I'm on the right path, and that this year is a big year. And I know I took notes, and I think it was in this book. Like basically what he said was, oh yeah, here it is. So my life path number is 7. And
spiritual.
We are in a number 4 year, and this is a year of rebuilding. And this is not a year for me for traveling. But that it was just very interesting because he also was talking about, I'm an Aquarius, like across the board, except for in my 12th house, which is where I'm Leo. But he said, you are Aquarius, like more than most people I've ever seen are Aquarius. Yeah. And that I have no water in my chart. Oh. So for some people that don't recognize it, air, you know, Aquarius is an air sign. Most people assume it's a water sign.
Aquarius is the water barrier. Water
barrier. Yeah.
You're carrying the water, but you what?
They're thinkers.
But their symbol is literally carrying water. I know. That's what's so interesting.
They're not in it.
But I bear water. I give it. But in my sign, in my chart, which again, we're gonna have him on and we'll talk about this. But when you look in my chart, there I don't have water. So he said to me, do you often feel dehydrated? And I do. And he's like, you need to drink a lot of water. You should drink lemon water. He's like, it's really good. And he said it's really good for anyone, spirituality wise, because water is what helps to conduct our bodies and electricity and everything through our bodies. I just felt like he was very interesting to talk to. And he gave me information on other people to talk to. And I just, you know, it's just, I feel like something is big is changing and coming. And there's a lot of, you know, changes going on for me in my business and my personal life and things. And we'll talk more about that coming up in the future. But he is definitely a guest I'm looking forward to having on.
He sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Did he tell you anything that you didn't expect? You're like,
anything I didn't
expect? Out of left field, and I meaning like anything out of left field. You know how a lot of times you'll get readings and they'll tell you information that is you didn't really know, but you kind of in the back of your mind, you're like, I kind of knew that. Did you get anything that you were like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming?
Not really, because I think one of the things that happened during the reading was a lot of confirmation of that the work that I'm doing on myself and like the, you know, the fact that we're doing this, like he did say that it's very much when you're a manifesting generator and when you are in the number that we're in, which is 6, which is a boss, and 2, which is, he said, I embody in my chart the actual, how did he say it? Like somewhere in a past life, I could have been like a king or a queen or some kind of a ruler. Mm-hmm. And then in my chart also, I have the worker bee. So he's like, you have the ability, you're self-sustaining, which I knew. He's like, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know what I do. He's like, you're
right. That's crazy.
He said in my past life, in one, if not more past lives, I have been some form of an artist. He said to me, I have the same numbers as like, I think he said Beethoven. And he's like, did you ever play music or sing? I said, when I was a kid. I said, but what's funny is I played violin and cello, but I couldn't read music. So I wanted to be in it. I made myself, you know, all the way up to high school orchestra. But what I did was I'd go home at night, I'd write the letters in light pencil next to all the notes, memorize it, erase it so I didn't get in trouble. And then I'd be in it. He goes, wow. Yeah, that makes sense to me. He goes, everything you're saying makes sense. I was showing him the pictures. He said something about trees. I said, oh my God, I love trees. I love the trees, tree of life. I showed him my paint. It was just, you have to, if you guys are looking, if anyone out there is looking for something a little bit more sciencey and specific, I'll put his name up.
And it wasn't like psychic. It was all from your numbers.
All from my numbers.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's like something that we have like a map. What did you say?
I'm looking for the loophole.
I know. Well, but that's totally fine. Oh, Scuba Ray's in the house. I don't know if he's still here. He said he caught half the program. He wants to say hello. Scuba Ray is here.
Scuba Ray.
What's up, Scuba Ray? Yes. So
that sounds so exciting. It's so cool when, first place, who doesn't love like diving deep into their those kind of things? It's fun. You know, It's a lot of fun. But it's also interesting when you get that kind of, hey, this is important. Your numbers are telling you this. You know, think before you speak.
Yeah.
Which is funny because most of the time in my work, I have the exact opposite problem. It's speak, right? Because so many, I find, especially in relationships, because I'm doing so much relationship work, is that so many of us just don't say anything, right? Mm-hmm. So there's, they're both kind of like things that we could work on, but I think that at least you have the using your voice thing down. It's just a matter of fine tuning, let's just say.
Yeah, which is what it's about for everything, right? I mean, he definitely said, I embody the not Peter Pan. What was
Peter Pan.
Robin Hood. Robin Hood, like that I like to give to the poor. And he said that
you're always doing fundraising and always trying to make
you're always stealing from the rich.
Exactly.
But you're such an Aquarius. I've said these things.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like you've said it, so it's like, but it was just interesting to see that there's an actual map, like an actual physical chart.
Thing.
That is really cool.
Who came up with this? I got to look that up.
I can't remember his name, but there's a person in the late 80s, early 90s that was not into any of this and received a download, like heard a voice, and like
cool.
And then wrote it all out, didn't want to have it as part of their life. They didn't want it to be disruptive, so they ripped it up. But they were the one that came up with it, and I wish I had the person's name. But I'm
sure that I could find it in 3 seconds if I looked it up.
Yeah, you totally could.
Yeah.
So I put it in the comments for everybody. Michael Alampi, Human Design Readings. Yeah.
So what did you need? You needed to know exact times of birth and everything? Did you need to know? You have to know that.
So you could have it from, maybe you might know it from your family, or it might be on your birth certificate. It was on my birth certificate. Shocker. Yeah. I was born at 4:20 p.m.
No I
think that is the funniest thing, because you sit there and you kind of like, when you're born, maybe kind of. But when I had to go get my birth certificate reprinted out because I couldn't find my original when I wanted to go get my passport, I had to go down to the city, town hall or whatever, Passaic, New Jersey. And when they printed it and they handed it to me, I cracked up. I was just like, that is so funny. And it's not even that I'm 420 friendly, but like, it's not even that I do it. It's just,
right. It's just ironic.
It's ironic that at 4:20 in the afternoon, I was born on February 13th.
That's crazy.
So it's very cool.
That is very cool.
I would love to see what you guys like.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
There was even a thing about stand-up comedy, because we were recording for an hour and we were going through it. And at one point I said, because he's like, you should really get into everything that you can as far as your talents. And one of the things, you're not a type of person, and I can't remember if it's because of my life number but you want to do more than one thing, because the thing that you do, so like this, the podcasting, the hairdressing, and the comedy, they all feed each other. And it makes sense. He's like, because the hairdressing will inspire the comedy. The comedy will help with the fundraising. Like everything he said, I told him. That's awesome. And he's like, you're doing it. And he said, we need passive income. He's like, you need to get on, you need to either do Patreon. He said, but you have to stop just relying on your job to make money, because you need to take your creative, fun stuff and create income that way. So
you're here. Okay. You're here.
Sounds good.
I'm all about that.
I know. So that's what we're gonna do.
Let's see it.
We're gonna do some cards now, I think. And I always get middle path, and it's like I feel like that had something to do with it too. But before we do the cards, I'm going to put this back up again just to remind everyone that this month we are going to have May 22nd will be our live event. We want to open ourselves up so that perhaps we can, have some people that we haven't gotten to meet can come in on a Monday evening rather than a Wednesday evening. We know that you're available because you're here watching us now. So instead of watching us on Monday 22nd on the computer, you could be with us live at 1036 Broad Street. That is Salon Gossip in Bloomfield, New Jersey, from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And it's $30. You can Venmo at Kim-Mazzella-1. Best thing about that is the end of the evening ends with an amazing meditation that is personalized by Kim Mazzella herself, and it is awesome. 15th of May, don't forget, we have Katie Easterwood from 8 to 9 p.m., and she will be channeling the collective consciousness of the Wisdom Council and answering your questions. So all you need to do is write in that evening. If you come and you show up, that is a free event, which is because it's one of our Open-Minded Mystics live shows. If you would like to do something a little bit different and you want to talk to Katie Easterwood and the Wisdom Council, you can have an opportunity to do so by contacting her through Wisdom Council, onespirit.oneheart.com, and you can book your appointment there for $24.95. You have 30 minutes of time with Katie Easterwood and the Wisdom Council, and it's amazing. And our own Tracy Locke did that recently, and she said it was eye-opening and uplifting. And
totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Totally
Don't miss out on that. You're sleeping. Don't sleep on that, kids. Don't sleep.
No,
it's the same price as like a Starbucks coffee.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You get a little bit of information of what path you might want to, move outside. Move to the right.
And if you're not familiar with her and you want to get familiar with her,
what fell out? What fell out?
You gotta find out what fell out.
I
you
saw
can
that.
Go up next Monday, and then you could book your appointment after. Because I know some people are nervous about that and stuff.
Well, that's the exciting part. Is if you're nervous about it, we completely understand it. But I would love for you. Oh my God!
You'll soon receive some positive news. The channels for clear and honest communication are now open. Katie's here with us right now. Keep an open heart and speak your truth. So,
But that card was like this.
You saw it, right?
Did you notice that, Kim? It was like very noticeable. I was like, wow, that card kind of floated right by.
Gabriel flew. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Gabriel.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kim, you can go first tonight.
Okay, I'll go.
Kim,
all right, I'm gonna bring up the energies. Give me something I need to know now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Wait a minute. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. First one.
They're wonky tonight.
Sacred knowledge. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Feel the peace within. Beyond your thoughts lies eternal truth. The I am presence of eternal love.
Sounds good. I'll take
it. I love that. The bottom card. Achievement. Take a little time to reflect on what you have achieved to date, Kim. It is often easy to forget where you started from and how far you've come. Honor and be grateful for this extraordinary journey that is your life. And it is an extraordinary journey. All right, Tracy Locke.
Here we go, baby. All right.
I'm going to really channeling Tracy Locke.
Stop.
Okay. First card up. Sacred space. We, your guardian angels, surround you with emerald gold and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter this sacred space of love and healing. We haven't had that one in a while, but we would get that one a lot.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah. And then, heart song. What is your heart saying? Stop and listen, Tracy. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. Your truth shines through from within your soul. Your truth is what is eternal and unchanging. Your truth is love.
That's pretty impressive. Nice. I have to always say, Donna, it's so impressive to me that you read from there.
Backwards.
You're amazing.
I'm using my second chakra. My childlike playing. It's like on my own secret decoder ring.
Good. You must have done a lot of mirror work when you were young.
I did. Well, I was alone a lot. I did a lot of fake commercials. Maxwell House was my favorite. You see these really hot water.
Start waking up. Oh, that's Folgers.
That's Folgers.
That's okay. Maxwell House, good to the last drop.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was what it was. All right, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Change.
Oh, this is true.
Life is a journey. It would be very unfulfilling if each step was exactly the same as the last, because life is always changing. It is forever fresh and new. Allow your life to unfold gracefully. Be grateful for what was and what forever will be. That is perfect for me.
It is perfect.
Changes.
The angels love that. Harmony.
Ooh.
Disharmony occurs when we try to resist life's natural flow. Everything has its cycle. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose. Every day can be harmonious if we want it to be.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds really awesome. And you guys, can you believe it? That's another episode in the book.
No, I can't.
I don't even know what number we're at. I think
I know that
108. 108. We were on.
I got to remember. Next one is 109.
Yes, this is 108.
I cannot believe it.
109.
So many people coming in and checking us out. I want to say thank you so much if you were here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, commenting. And, it's pretty awesome.
Yes. And check us out. Donna put up those flyers a couple of times. So you got to come and check us out. You got to check Katie out. You've got to make sure you come and just be part of the open-minded mystics community. There are so many great people that are working on themselves, bettering themselves, taking this information and just learning. And as Donna said, if you're not learning, you're not growing, what are you doing? Come on now. Exactly. We know you have it in you.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Scuba Ray. And we're only a few short weeks away from Girls Gone Green coming back. So.
Oh my God, football season is really starting again. I can't believe it.
Pre-season, baby.
Wow.
I know. All right, you guys. Here we go.
Have a great week.
Love you.
Bye.